Hello and welcome to another edition of Bantams Small Talk. I'd just like to give a shout out to my sponsors, Peckover Transport. We give you results, not excuses. I'm delighted today to be joined by Mike Harrison of the Bradford City Fanzine, the City Gent. First of all, Mike, how are you doing and have you had a good day?
Yeah, very good day today. I've been playing tennis, watching the tennis, been a good day. Obviously catching up on what's been happening with City. Obviously we've signed another player today, so it'll be very interesting, very interesting developments.
Brilliant. So obviously thank you for agreeing to do this interview, and we'll crack on with the first question with that I've still got up down here. First of all, can you please tell us when this idea of the City Gent first came about and what was involved? You know, when did the idea first come up and what was involved to get it running?
So I wasn't involved at the start, but it started in probably maybe the autumn of the 1984 season.
Yeah.
I know John Watmuff had seen a York City fanzine, showed it to the people at the City Travel Club, 73, that used to go to the away games on coaches, and maybe even sort of passed it around the corner, perhaps. And then I guess, because a few other people thought, well, yeah, we could have a crack at this. And somebody, I know John Dewhurst and Brian Fox were the original founding editors. Perhaps somebody called John Burgess as well might have been involved too. And they just set about putting together a fanzine. It was a very basic 16-page issue, cost only 20 pence for issue one, just more or less photocopied and stapled together.
Yep. And
they started selling it from about November of 1984, and we've been going ever since. And out of all the fanzines that started in the mid-80s, and there was a big sort of boom in them from, once people saw that you could do these sort of things, more or less every club had 2 fanzines each or more. So there literally were hundreds of fanzines around before the end of the sort of 80s. And of all those that have been and gone, City Gent is still going as a printed fanzine. So we do like to claim that we're the longest printed fanzine in the country.
That's brilliant. So I think you do a fantastic job, so keep it going. So we'll move on to...
appreciate that.
Yeah, can I also ask you, please, you have already told us how long it's been running, so we'll move on to the next one. I think you have a great mixture of articles and features from the fans and fans' groups. Are you still actually looking for new input and new images to be put in from different groups?
Yeah, I always want people to write articles and send stuff in to share amongst Bradford City fans. And yes, we have a lot of regular contributors who send in some really interesting articles, and I can't emphasise that enough. Without these people sending these articles in, there just would not be a City Gent. I can't possibly do it on my own, or even with the help of John Watmuff, who's obviously a massive help.
Yeah.
Not only with him selling magazines for us, but also he writes a good dozen pages each month for each issue. But yeah, always looking for new people. Everybody's always welcome to send something in, and if it's interesting and it's got some connection to Bradford City or just football in general, then absolutely we'll put it in. And that's why there is, even now, and obviously you've seen the latest 2 issues, which I gave to you on sort of over Christmas. There's a good mixture of articles, but I don't ask people particularly for these; they just send them in, and that's fantastic. So it's really sort of quite organic in that way. And each time I worry that am I going to get enough material to fill in an issue, and yet we do seem to fill an issue every time. So, but it's always a little bit of a worry. But it's always great that people send stuff in, and my email address is on page 1 of every issue that I've ever edited. It's the same email address. If you find an old City Gent, you want to send something in, or obviously you can find me on Twitter or the City Gent Facebook page, or just come and see me before a game when I'm selling magazines and just say, how can I send you an article, and I'll tell you.
Great, Phil. Thank you for letting us know. Who would you say is your biggest contributor? Do you have anyone that sends in more than anybody, or the whole team tend to be the same?
Well, I mean, John Monmouth is a previous editor who edited the magazine in sort of like between 93 and 97, I believe. And he continues to write his counsel and criticism column, which always is in the back end of the fanzine. And, you know, regularly he will send in enough content that fills 10, 12 pages. Ideally, everybody else's articles, I try not to go much over 4 or 5 pages, 6 pages maybe at the most. But John's is a very sort of structured column, and you know, and he needs to say he's a big supporter of the fanzine because he's been there right from day one. So, you know, I'm more than happy for John's content to go to 10, 12, 15 pages sometimes. So yeah, he's probably the biggest contributor, and he's obviously out as well as me. He's the biggest seller of the magazine as well. He's the most public person that you would see selling the magazines, apart from myself.
Yep. Obviously, when your own posts, what gives you the ideas and inspiration behind your posts? Where do you get them from? What gives you the buzz to post the article, and where do you get them from? Because they're brilliant.
Well, for my own, I mean, as editor, I have to write an editorial. So, you know, my editorial is based on current things. You know, me watching the games, my thoughts on how the team's playing, my thoughts on things that are happening to the club. Obviously, we've had a big discussion about the proposed badge in recent months. There's all sorts of issues. There's always something cropping up with Bradford City. Obviously, in the next issue, we'll be talking a lot about the players that have gone, the players that are coming in, you know, the transfer window, etc. That'll be a big focus. But other things, I mean, for me, if I can, and quite often, because obviously the way that we produce the magazine is that I set a deadline, people send articles in, and then if I've got enough content, all I need to do is write my 3 or 4 pages of editorial. If there's any gaps, then obviously I come up with some ideas to fill those gaps. But quite often, touch wood, I'm more happy to say that at the moment I'm getting enough material that all I need to do is, or the only writing I have to do is to do my editorial. So I do a load of stuff in checking the articles, putting them all together, making them all flow. Obviously, I get help with Phil, who does the graphics and puts the pictures together and does the PDF documents, etc. But it's a joint process. But you know, essentially, you know, I'm the one that's sort of directing it, which is obviously what an editor does.
Yeah. Obviously, have you ever thought about, in this modern day and era, I really think it'd work and help you bring extra income, and for that, those people who don't go to matches or anything like that, have you ever thought about doing an online version to run alongside obviously the printed copy?
Yeah, well, I've thought about it, but the problem is then if you start putting it online, then people will probably tend not to buy it, and therefore we then don't survive as a printed fanzine, which is what we're all about. And you know, we are keeping, because what I like about the City Gent, and obviously I encourage other printed fanzines, there's still some going and we do interact with each other, is that the fact is that, you know, just in your example, those 2 City Gents I gave you, you can probably put them away with your City collection. You might not even look at them for 10, 15, 20 years, but if you look at them again, that will remind you exactly what it was like being a Bradford City fan in 2022, 2023. Now, will you be able to find an online article or an online magazine in 20 years' time or whatever? Maybe not. Just like in all the, you know, the 236 issues we've produced, I defy anybody who doesn't find an old City Gent, pick it up and start flicking through, and then it just transports you back to that time whenever it was produced and what it was like to be a City fan then. You can't do that. It's not the same as you log in and look at something, but if you've got a physical copy, I think that's just an absolute gem, and that's why I'd like to think that, you know, we'll continue producing City Gent for as long as people want to buy it from us, as long as people want to write in for us, as long as I can keep producing it. But you know, I think these physical, tangible products that we produce, and it's only it doesn't cost much, it's only £2.
Alright.
Is like a little treasure trove of what it's like to be Bradford City. It's like a little time machine almost that you can pick up and read again in years to come, and it will just remind you what it was like now or when we did that particular issue.
Yeah, obviously.
So yeah, I mean, maybe I've had thoughts about maybe making back issues available online for people to read, but yeah, I think it will just take away something from the printed fanzine that we do.
Yeah, that's brilliant. I'm enjoying doing this. So if people actually want to submit a post, like fans of sort of social media pages, how long do they have to submit posts, and how many programs do you produce per year?
So at the moment I've got into sort of a steady rhythm of doing 5 issues per season.
Brilliant.
So if you think about how the season goes,
Yeah.
try and get one for more or less the start of the season, like usually September, because sometimes to get one out on day one for the first game of the season, nothing's happened, there's nothing to write about.
Yeah.
So we've sort of started bringing up sort of mid-September, sort of mid-October to also Christmas, February, April, and that sort of that's become a nice rhythm. I mean, at one stage I was doing 6 per year, but it just seemed it flows nicely just doing 5. So like at the moment, the next issue is due out on the 18th of February. So what will happen there is that it'll need to go to print the week before, and therefore I set a deadline the week before that. So probably around about I think the deadline for the next one is something like the 7th, 8th of February. And if I can get articles in before then, and I've already got some articles sent in already for the next one. So, but all the other people that will send it in for the deadline, hopefully it'll come in around about this sort of 5th, 6th, 7th of February, and then we'll get it off to the printers and it'll be ready on the 18th. And that's the sort of lead up. And then after that, if somebody does want to send something before then, yeah, great, and before early February. If not, then we're probably looking at early April for the next one, which will be the last one of the season. And I'm aiming to get that one out around that Easter. So
yeah, that's no problem. So obviously,
people can find me on social media, on Twitter or Facebook, or come and see me at the game, and I'll talk to you how you can send an article in.
That's brilliant. So obviously, like I say, you can contact you online, and I've read through the magazine. I think it's absolutely brilliant. So on match day, after selling the programs, do you watch the game, and what's your routine so people that want to know where to catch you and where they'll be, so they can come and buy one off you?
Sure. Well, my routine is for home games is pretty much the same. On a Saturday afternoon, I'll try and get parked up on Midland Road before about 2 o'clock, and then I'll walk up to where just by the wall by the club reception, and I'm usually there till about 10 to 3. Then I have to set off because my seat's on Midland Road, so I have to set off to get in so I don't miss the kick-off. I did miss the Harrogate goal the other week because I didn't quite get my timing right. But then again, how often do we score in the first minute? So then people will see me, John Watmouth, wandering around the stadium at half time. I'll try and go into the Bantams bar up to the northwest corner, main stand, cop up. We try and wander around, and the club's really great. We have a badge where we can walk around. We don't get any issues, and the club are really good at allowing us to do that. So people will see us wandering around at half time. They'll see us probably me make my way back to my seat after the kick-off's already gone. So I'm usually walking behind the goal at the Cop end. And then after the game, so obviously watch the second half, and after the game, I'll stand outside on Midland Road and I'll catch people that are coming out of Midland Road stand, and also people that are coming out the Cop who are walking down Midland Road towards Bradford. So you can catch us there as well. So there's not a lot of us selling. There's only me, John, Paul Donnelly in the bottom tier of the stand, Manny Dominguez in top tier of the stand. But we get around as best we can. Yeah. I'm sure, and I think we all have pretty much the same routines, and if people want to know how to get a City Gent from us, I think they know how to find us. Yeah, that's not. You actually just touched on it, but can you tell us a bit more how good is the relationship between the club and also the fanzine? Do you get on well? Does it all work? I take it you get on really well. And yeah, no, I mean, we get on well with the people at the club. I've had many chats with Ryan and obviously Lewis, who used to do the programme, and obviously was dealing with Luke Flax as well about the badge idea, because I got invited to obviously give my opinion on that.
Yeah.
You know, Paul, the stadium manager, is a big fan of the City Gent. You know, we're involved with her at the moment because I'm trying to we're trying to get some money. Well, City Gent are going to donate some money from our funds, but also we're trying to get a grant from the council to put a cycle rack, but really super duper cycle rack if we can get the grant, which will be on the main stand of one of the walls on the main stand.
Yeah.
On the basis that people cycling at the moment, if they go in, they have to like tie the bike up to the railings or something. So if we have a dedicated cycle rack, I think it'd be absolutely great for people, and I think it'll be really useful. Which is why I say we were going to pay for one anyway, but Paul had said, well, we can get some money from the council, possibly, but we're just waiting for that to come through at the moment. So hopefully, fingers crossed. So I think you did ask me if I had any events coming up, and I said I didn't. But hopefully, if we can get this grant from the council and we can add to it with our City Gent money, we'll have a cycle rack to announce, get it in the TNA and get people to start using it before the end of the season.
Yeah, that's absolutely brilliant. And we'll, I'd also like to ask you, and then we'll let you go and enjoy the evening with your family. Is there anything you'd like to promote, any special events or any people you want to thank or mention that help you with everything? This is your time to promote anything if you want to.
No, I mean, we've got nothing special to promote other than, we're selling City Gents at every home game. And to be fair, the latest issue I think is a really, really good issue. But just because of the way, one, the Rochdale game was cancelled. Two, the Harrogate game and the Salford home games were on odd sort of times, really, that I don't think I think loads of City fans weren't there, to be honest. Definitely the Harrogate game, and maybe some people turned up for the Salford game, but I think a lot of people didn't even go to either game. So I think we still got, out of the average ones we sell, we've still got a few more to sell, but we've still got the Carlisle home game, we've still got the Mansfield home game before the next one comes out, and I may or may not get to Stockport next week. I haven't quite decided yet, because it's going to be a bit of a push up to get there after work. But yeah, no, just buy the City Gent, and if you watch this and you're not coming down to the ground, go on. We have a City Gent website. It's thecitygent.co.uk. You can subscribe to the magazine because the subscribers we have are all around the country. So there's lots of people that want to follow Bradford City, buy the City Gent that I post out to them. We've got almost 350 subscribers, which is really, really good. It's the healthiest it's ever been. So yeah, I would just say, the only event we've got, buy the City Gent, and if you've never seen it, give it a go because it's only £2. There's no programs to buy anymore, and honestly, we're way more interested than a program because you've read them, and and I say there's lots of interesting articles. You might not enjoy absolutely every one of them, but you certainly get your £2 of that. There's no doubt.
Yeah, but Doctor, there's some great stuff in there, and obviously I won't be able to help you till the end of the month because, as you know, I'm doing this 50,000 steps from motor neurons disease. However, if you ever want me to help you out, if you're ever too busy or you need some help, just let me know and I'll come and grab some off you, and I'll try and fill them in the Bantams bar for you if you ever need that.
Yeah, that's fine. So we cover most because when I wander through the Bantams bar, I think people see me. I sell a few and then. But say, by all means, if people watch this, this little interviews that you do, because I know you do a series of them, and you grab people when you can. And obviously, we've been talking about doing this for at least a month or 6 weeks or so. Then yeah, I would just say thanks for interviewing us, thanks for your time, and say people watch this and they fancy just seeing what the City Gent's all about. Go on the website and buy one, or come and see us at the game and buy one then. Yeah,
I would thank you as well. But obviously, people will be watching this interview and wondering, possibly imagining, if we did this together, I think I might have had to get a ladder to do it if I were doing this in real.
I think our heights couldn't be more in contrast to each other. But so you're probably wiser just to do this on Zoom. Absolutely.
Yeah, and we'll go for one more, because although this video might be out after the weekend. What's your score prediction for this Saturday?
Oh, I hate score predictions, I really do. Who knows? We could have when you think about all the changes in the team in the last, all the people that have come in and gone out, there's going to be some changes in the team. So who knows what we're going to play like? Obviously, hopefully, we're going to be playing way better than we did against Rochdale last Tuesday.
Yep.
But Carlisle are up there, and they'll bring a good following. So I think it'd be nice to have a good atmosphere, and just all being well that the game goes ahead, because obviously it's pretty icy out there at the moment. I know the pitch will be covered, but you just wonder how whether or not, hopefully, fingers crossed, that the game will go ahead, because it's certainly one with sort of playoff contenders for both ourselves and Carlisle. I'd like to think we win. We need to win, because not beating Rochdale the other night was such a massive wasted opportunity. So, and you just see how congested it is from 4th down to 12th or 13th.
Yeah.
So a win can get you up there, and a defeat we could be mid-table by if we lose. So still loads of games to play. Obviously, it can be very interesting to see what sort of team Mark Hughes picks and what sort of formation he plays, and how he goes about it tactically. But we definitely need to win. Whether or not we are going to do, well, that's in the lap of the gods, because that's the one thing that we've got no control about. We've got no control about those 11 players that we're running around in Claret Number on Saturday afternoon. We just go and watch, and we observe, and we comment on it, and that's obviously what's the City Gent all about.
Yep. So thank you for your time again, and I'll see you on Saturday, and I'll probably buy this new version off you. So thanks for your time again.
You're welcome.
You're going to have a good time with your family. Thank you very much.
All right. Cheers, Nick. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.
Cheers, everybody.